Hello everyone, we're at Stream Startup Festival and I really hope that the sound will be good because this is the coolest startup event in Finland. Of course, Tribecast couldn't avoid doing a special episode for Stream. My first guest for today comes from Danske Bank. Let's figure out more about banks. We already talked with Nordea, we already talked with, Nordea only actually. We need more guests from banks. Maybe this is how the money comes. Let's figure out. Hello, Roving. First things first. Please tell listeners a few things about yourself.
Hey, first, thanks a lot for the invitation. It's really nice to get the chance to talk here. And so I'm Robin Kipfer. I'm actually originally from Switzerland. And I came to Finland now about 2.5 years ago, at first to study a master degree at Hanken School of Economics in international strategy and sustainability. And now I joined Danske Bank. Yeah, I'm happy to be here. What you could just ask me, what a joke, another Swiss walking in a bank.
Why Finland, if I may ask?
Why Finland? That's a good question. Actually, I had never put my feet in a Nordic countries before coming to Finland, but I think it was a really attractive place because Finland is a quickly moving economy, a lot of innovation. The education is quite famous. Yeah, like the nature is also nice and was looking nice to come here. And sometimes you just have to take decision and then let's see what happens.
Okay, that sounds good. Sounds like a good story to start with. But I know that Danske Bank has a launch at Stream Startup Festival. What is it about? What's your format?
Yeah, so at Danske Bank, we actually, of course, have the basic banking services that we offer to startup, but then we also try to get as close as possible to many startups because the startup scene in Finland is something really important. You may know about Slush and all these festivals, and like so many incredible ventures are created in Finland. And Stream is also, as you correctly said at the beginning, it's one of the super nice festival, a bit smaller than Slush, so you get a bit closer to the people. So we have a nice lounge with sofa, and you are welcome to come and sit and have a talk with us. And yeah, we try to get close to the entrepreneur themselves and to meet them here at Stream, and we are also a key partner of the festival. So
now I have a few questions. First of all, if we talk about the interest of Danske Bank towards startups, is it mostly interest towards fintech, or are you just interested in supporting small, potentially growing companies?
Yeah, we don't focus on any specific sector. So we have this growth and impact department at Danske Bank. And this department is only aiming to support any kind of startup. So it can be fintech or it can be impact startup. It can also be just basic venture with growing potential and good team and good ideas. So we are quite open actually, and I think that's important.
Okay, and when a startup reaches out to you, do they mostly reach for money, or do you have some kind of, I don't know, acceleration, support, mentoring, stuff like that?
Yeah, so that's actually, in my opinion, something which makes Danske Bank quite unique in the banking, because of course we offer the traditional banking services, tailor services to startup and entrepreneurs. But then what is quite unique at Danske Bank is that we have these kind of like experts in entrepreneurship and startup. And so if you want to discuss with them about like funding series, A series or whatever, they will know what this is about. So they will know what does like venture capital mean. They will know how to fund a startup. And so we provide that kind of advisory expertise to entrepreneur coming to us. And I think that's quite unique at Danske, because usually you have these advisor, obviously, but they are not focusing only on startup. And at Danske, we have a few focusing only on startup.
Then how can a startup reach to you, and what are the main criteria when a small company is coming? I mean, what are the main criteria for you to be interested in them in cooperation?
Well, I said it depends. It depends what they want to do with us. So if they ask for a loan or funding or whatever, then we obviously have some criteria that they must fit.
Can you open up a bit about that? Quite many small companies are looking for investors.
Yeah, well, we are not like investing in companies, so we provide them with indirect funding, of course, but then it's just basic analysis about like the team and then the ID and that kind of stuff. We are still like a bank, so we provide in terms of funding and banking services. We just provide the traditional banking services which you will find in any other bank. So on that side, we are not that unique.
Okay. Why is Danske Bank interested in Stream Startup Festival? Since you're one of the main partners, I assume you have a huge interest here.
Because as said, I think, for example, Slush is a huge startup festival, a lot of international startup coming there, international investor, and maybe Stream is a bit more like local, if I can say it. So it's very Finnish, it's very local. So it's a lot of Finnish entrepreneur, Finnish investors, and this is very nice for a bank such as Danske Bank, which want to be involved locally and be close to these people here in Finland, to these entrepreneurs, to these startup. And Stream Festival is an amazing place for us to meet these local partners and not only international one, because of course all these international startup coming to Slush, for example, they might be more interested in huge venture capital investors or whatever, but Stream is really kind of like a family, It's you can just come and sit on the sofa and have a coffee with us, and it's very nice to meet people locally in this like kind of chill atmosphere, which maybe you don't have in huge festivals. So for that reason, Stream Festival is very nice too.
All right. Thank you for the kind words towards Stream Startup Festival. I hope you'll get great time and lots of interesting meetings and meaningful encounters today at Danske Bank Lounge. How many of your colleagues are there? Do we have enough people to talk to everybody who is interested?
Yeah, of course. We are now 3 people from Danske Bank at the lounge, and then we also have people from the hub, because I guess most of the entrepreneurs listening to this podcast might know about the hub, which is this platform to kind of hire talent for startups, etc. But not too many people know that it's actually from Danske Bank, and it's run by Danske Bank. So we have here Jessica, who is running the hub, kind of like for Danske Bank, and she's also here to answer any question related to the hub. And then we have also the Hub Invest, which is a platform not matching startups with talent, but matching startup with investors. And we have people from these different platforms also here to answer your question and just to have a good discussion. So I think we have people from many different backgrounds and many different departments of the bank to be here. And just go and check out the hub. We just launched a new platform last week, so it's now a brand new platform, which is, in my opinion, looking really fresh and really nice. So just check it out.
So thank you very much, Robin, for this interview. Hopefully I will see you later today at the after party and at the after party, which we organize to celebrate the birthday of P47 co-working space run by Tribe Tampere community. I wish you a nice and productive day, and let's continue to the next guest of our podcast. Thank you.
Thanks a lot for this great interview, and see you later.
And we have one more guest. And what a diverse amount of guests we have. It's like people from all over Europe for now. Maybe we'll get someone outside of the continent. Hello, Andrea. I should confess, I didn't have the time to check where you're from originally, but your name tells me that you're not Finnish.
Indeed. Hi. Thanks for inviting. And I'm Italian, actually. So still kind of in the continent. But yes, I'm originally Italian, but I spent the last 6.5 years in Finland. So quite some time up north.
Right. Anything else you would like to tell our listeners about yourself?
Well, first of all, I must confess that this is only my second time in Tampere in 6.5 years. So that's an interesting experience to come up here, and it's very nice to see all the activities going on around Stream Tampere. Just a bit about myself, then I'm currently working at InVenture, so we are a seed and early stage VC fund. But the background is that when I moved to Finland, I was the first employee of a startup here in Finland called Investor. So a fintech company focused in the Nordics and UK. Spent roughly 4 years there. It was very, very nice experience to see the company grow. And then I decided to take a new challenge and joined Inventure. As mentioned, Inventure, we are seed and early stage VC. We mostly invest in the Nordics and Baltics and takes a few bets outside the core area in the rest of Europe. We're fairly B2B focused as a fund. We started with proper Finnish deep tech from IoT, new materials, semiconductors, and mobility, to then focus also on enterprise software as well as digital health and some more B2C facing companies. Here in Tampere, actually, we invest in a company called Wirepass, very interesting connectivity case. Quite a few investments actually outside the Helsinki area throughout Finland. So we're big supporters of how the different ecosystems are developing in Finland. So Helsinki is not the only hub, but more and more hubs like Tampere, Turku, Oulu are actually up and coming thanks to both the startup initiatives as well as the engineering and tech knowledge pools.
Since you work around the Nordic countries, can you specify what differs Finnish startup ecosystem out of those? Or are they like all the same?
Well, actually, I think they're very different one another. I have, of course, my own bias because I've sliced the startup ecosystem and I've only seen 6.5 years of it. Mm-hmm. But I have to say it's very impressive, first of all, regarding Finland, how much the ecosystem has changed in the last 6-7 years. So I remember when I moved to Finland, it was actually very Finnish focused. An international person is someone with not a Finnish background like myself was a bit of an outsider, and I would think they felt the same for quite a few people. But now it changed, and actually I have to say that it's amazing to see the amount of international people coming into the ecosystem here, and that's a very big strength because it's going to help the startups to become more and more global. And the mindset to shift. When it comes to compare the Finnish ecosystem to the rest of the Nordics, I have to say that overall Finland is performing quite nicely. Although, and sorry for saying this, Finns, Sweden is outperforming Finland by great lengths. I have to say that the scope and ambition is at a different level there, and there is a lot that still needs to be learned to match with the Swedish performance. Denmark, it's actually more or less, from my point of view, a similar level of Finland, although I have to say, I think Finland is great at making products, Denmark is great at selling products, Sweden is great at branding products, so if the countries will work together, it will actually be pretty good. The Baltics ecosystem is also very exciting. I have to say, there are great entrepreneurs, and the entrepreneurial spirit there is something which I really admire. Norway, as the last country, is still a bit behind, but very good things are coming out of there.
All right. So we just all can summarize that Sweden is good at bragging. Yeah. What are you doing here at Stream today? I know that you're a speaker and you have a speaker tag. So what's your presentation will be about?
Yes, so this is actually quite exciting because it's the first time I talk about these things outside of our own portfolio. So to give a bit of framework, what I do at Inventure is focusing on value creation. So basically I focus on what happens to the companies after we invest in them. So all the activities that we do with the companies that are aimed at supporting the growth of the company, so to increase the value of the company. So that very much means spending time with the companies to understand what their needs are, what they are going to prioritize, and how we can help them to prioritize and support them in the different issues that they have, from setting up the vision and strategy to building up their sales and marketing activities, talent, products, as well as, of course, add-on funding. So if I have to think of my days, I actually spend, I think at any given time is probably time with 4 or 5 portfolio companies that have different issues, trying to help them to solve the issues by either sparring with them or trying to connect them with people that have worked on similar issues before. So what we're going to do today is open up our own framework on how we work with the portfolio companies and show it to the workshop participants. So the goal of the workshop is very much understanding what life is after you get a VC funding. I think there is a lot of discussion on how to get VC funding, but no one thinks, okay, I got VC funding, what do I do next? So that's actually...
Sorry to say, it's a little bit like, the marriage thing. It's like for some people, especially like females, it's a bit like, I need to, but doesn't really thinking about what happens afterwards.
Exactly.
Yeah, and it's a really interesting angle, I would say, because I